Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to your elect. Yeah, so today I want to get into some information in this book. What is it? Hebrews to Negroes Wake Up Black America by Ronald Dalton Jr. on Melon, because he likes to show in movies, his books, and in pictures that everything is white. God is white, so-called Jesus is white, Adam and Eve is white. But when you read the scriptures, that's not so. So I pray and hope that this video is edifying. Let's get into it. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now who's the wicked? These so-called white people, these Edomites. That's their biblical name. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. So the world has been given into the wicked's hands, these so-called Edomites, these elites, by the Most High, for prophecy's sake. But since these elites have gotten in control, they've taken it upon themselves to make everything white. So-called God is white, Jesus is white, Adam and Eve is white, the color of the Lord is white, the people of the Lord is white. But that's one of the ways that he covers the faces of the judges, is by changing the color of things to everything being white, white, white. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold. Like those halos that you see in church, around like Mary's head, they show have a halo or any of the saints' head. I forgot where I found that information. I tried looking it back up, but those are actually not halos, those are afros. Because remember, our people used to have afros back in the day. But when they change the color of, change the color to white skin, those aren't halos around the head. To hide the afro, they had to make it look like it was a halo. And like it says in Psalms 83 and 5, I believe, let us cut them off from being a nation. Right, so how do they cut us off from being a nation? They give us this white and black terminology. Oh, they're white people, we're black people. But nobody's white or black. If you look at your skin color, if you're a so-called Negro, you're a dark-skinned brown. How are you black? Black is a color. Like them, their skin is translucent. They're not white. There's nothing white about them. So how could they be Slovakia? How could they be white? Let's get into the etymology of those words, white and black, real quick. Slovakia. Right, here we go. Right, here's the etymology for the word black, meaning fierce, terrible, wicked. It's from late 14th century. Figurative senses often come from the notion without light, moral, or spiritual. Right, the Lord didn't create us to be a people without light or moral or spiritual. It's only because we're cut off from our heritage that's the only reason why we're acting like the scriptures say, brute beasts. But we were never supposed to be so. It says Latin niger had many of the same figurative senses: gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, malicious. The metaphoric use of the Greek word melas, Salakia, however, tended to reflect the notion of shrouded in darkness, overcast, right. And all these words, fierce, terrible, wicked, we're not fierce and terrible, wicked people. Really, the only reason why we're fierce and terrible, wicked people is because we're around you Edomites. And I just want to get Salakia, get some from this book, The 10 Tribes of Israel. This is the chapter Late Discoveries on page 62. An old Cherokee Indian in a very early day thus addressed one of these white people. Our people are become almost as bad as yours. We are so much altered since you came among us that we hardly know ourselves. Right, and ever since you came to the Americas and took over the Indians' land and brought Judah, Benjamin, Levi over here, we've as a nation, we've just gotten worse and worse and worse, man. We haven't gotten any better. That's why we need Yahweh to come back and deliver us out of this. So let's get the etymology of the word white. we're not going to get any better until we, get those new bodies and get the hell out of here. Let me just do it this way. Slovakia. Now, yes, you will have Israelites that look, so-called white, so-called Japanese, but if their line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then they're Israelites. Don't get that twisted. You will have some people looking like these other nations, but for you to sit there and say that everything is white, that's just incorrect. This is the etymology of the word white. Make sure. Slovakia. Let me just make sure. I guess we could just read through it. White. Bright, radiant, clear, fair. Also use separate entry from programmatic. Right, here we go. As a surname, originally with the reference to fair hair or complexion, it is one of the oldest in English, being well established before the conquest, meaning morally pure. There's nothing morally pure about you, Edomites. The scriptures say you're the border of wickedness, man. It's nothing morally pure about you, but they've made it with the media. You watch these commercials, everything white, 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 white. And, trying to manipulate the minds of the people to thinking that everything white is a good thing, but there's nothing good. I'm going to be jumping around this chapter. This is chapter 5 of the book. I'm going to jump around and just read a couple of points. All right. Let me read this quote from Muhammad Ali. We've been brainwashed. Everything good is supposed to be white. We look at Jesus and we see a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. We look at all the angels. We see white with their blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, I'm sure there's a heaven in the sky, and its colored folks go to die and go to heaven. Where are the colored angels? They must be in the kitchen preparing milk and honey. We look at Miss America, we see white. We look at Miss World, we see white. We look at Miss Universe, we see white. Even Tarzan, the king of the jungle in Black Africa, is white. Right, just complete, just even they even put themselves as the Egyptians. I remember when I was in school, you'd see you saw a picture of an Egyptian, white people saying that they were there, and we're gonna get into that too. White swan soap, white cloud tissue paper, white rain hair rinse, white tornado floor racks, all good. Cowboys ride white horses and wear white hats. Angel food cake is white, but the devil's food cake is chocolate. When are we going to wake up as a people and end the lie that white is better than black, right? And it's all been part of the system to just brainwash our people to thinking everything white is good when it's not. Right, just page 50 real quick, just to add to that point. Thanks to the media and its trickery, we tend to believe that intermixing with other races or people lighter than us will make everything all right. And that's what our people think, especially so-called Spanish people, thinking if they get with a white person. Or I remember when I was growing up younger that sometimes women would say, "Oh, I want a lighter skinned guy," or things like that, just because they think that, that stigma is in their mind that, oh, if he's lighter skinned, he's better. But I'm still dark skinned, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with our skin. Our skin is beautiful. We were made in the image of our Heavenly Father. So like I say, I'm just gonna jump around in this book. This is page 40. We also know that Adam and Eve could not have populated the world if they had white skin without melon. Skin with no melon or little to no melon cannot darken. If the white race cannot darken, then they cannot produce any race of brown people. Brown or black people can get lighter. This is evident in skin. This is evident in skin disorders and with fading creams. Right. Skeptics that use this theory to research biology, genetics, the evolution of all races of mankind, and its relation to melanin. Moving forward, we all know that there are deserts and extreme hot temperatures in Africa and Middle East, and there's a well-known fact that when black people suffer from dehydration, malu- malu- malnutrition, or illness such as cancer or retinal failure, their skin tends to get darker. When black people die, they are usually dark in appearance days later. Black skin turns darker when the body is dehydrated from the sun, and in times of famine, lack of food and water. Right. So like I was saying earlier, how E will say that, oh, they were there during the time of Egypt and slavery, but your bodies cannot handle the sun at all. I remember one time I was walking, going to leaving the house in the morning to go get food, and I seen this Edomite trying to look at the sun. She couldn't look at the sun. She tried to look up at the sun. I don't know why, but and she just had to squint her eyes, and she was only able to look at it for a good 3 seconds. Now, I sometimes do something called sun gazing from time to time. It helps strengthen your eyes, and I believe it gives vitamin D to eyes. You can look it up. I apologize if I'm a little wrong on that, but I could look at the sun for a good, I want to say maybe 20, 25 seconds, and if you keep, going at it, eventually you could go for longer. Now, don't look at the sun for too long, but I could look at the sun for a good 20, 25 seconds. You know, the sun strength. It's gonna say here in this book, but the sun strengthens and gives vitamin D to our bodies, whereas so-called white people, because they have no melanin in their skin, their body doesn't get the benefits from the sun. They don't get nothing at all. Jump around again. But this doesn't happen as we can see by watching TV. White races become paler when going through the effects of severe malnutrition on the body. When white skin is exposed to the effects of the sun's UV rays, their skin gets red, right? Proving the point that you're not white. How's your skin getting red? And irritated. With long-term exposure, the end result is often skin cancer or leathery, wrinkled, old, dry in appearance. That's why they got to use suntan and lotion and all that. Melanin in the people of color protects their skin from one thing that all living creatures need to thrive, the sun. Right, and we all need the sun to thrive. And I'm going to get into the third eye melanin and the pineal gland. Your pineal gland accumulates the most fluoride in the body, and this is one reason for the calcification, right? Because they put fluoride in our water to calcify our pineal gland. Your pineal gland is what gives melanin throughout the body. You have melanin throughout all your entire body, but your pineal gland, your third eye, is what produces melanin throughout your entire body. And that's why they put fluoride in the water to calcify, because they're trying to take away our melanin from our bodies, just wicked stuff, just anything they could do to just, harm us. Much research has been done to prove that fluoride in our drinking water is used by the elites to dumb Americans down by calcifying your pineal glands. Right. In the late 90s, a scientist by the name of Jennifer Luke carried out the first study, the effects of sodium fluoride on the pineal gland. She determined that the pineal gland, located in the middle of the brain, was a target for fluoride. The pineal gland simply absorbed more fluoride than any other physical matter in the body, even bones. It was found that the pineal gland was like a magnet to sodium fluoride. Sodium fluoride calcified the pineal gland and made it no longer effective in balancing the entire hormonal process through the body. Right. So when you drink this water that you have today, it's full with fluoride. And these wicked is just trying to destroy our bodies every which way possible. We're already in these defiled bodies, these sinful bodies, but it's bad enough you're putting fluoride in the water. That's just making our bodies more weak, affecting our hormonal process. You're trying to, in a way, cut our ties to the Most High by calcifying our pineal gland. Anything to just separate us from our power. Various research has been done proving that sodium fluoride goes to the most important glands in the brain. Right, dumbing us down. It is the only thing that attacks the most important center of our gland in the brain. It's prevalent in foods, beverages, rat poison, in our bath and drinking water. See, they're just attacking you from every which way possible, man. Sodium fluoride is put in 90% of the United States water supply. Water filters bought in supermarkets do not take the fluoride out. Only reverse osmosis or water distillation removes fluoride. It is said that fluoride was introduced into the water by the Nazis and by Russians in their concentration camps to make the population docile. Right, and Esau just adopted that, and he's bringing that here to America to do the same thing to us. I believe this is like the final point. Melon is also found in hair, our eyes, the iris, and brain tissue. Again, this is why a majority of the people living in this world have brown eyes, black hair, and some shade of brown skin with the ability to tan. Scientists have proven that inside melanocytes, pigment cells, there are tiny packets called melanosomes that contain melon. The 4 states in maturing of these melanosomes account for racial differences. Right, so in our bodies we have something called melanosomes, which is pigment cells, and we also have melanocytes. Now I'm trying to look up more information on that to understand exactly what that is. So Salaki, if I can't explain that in this video, Lord's willing, I'll maybe make a part 2 trying to explain that. But for right now, everybody's body has melanocytes, except for you Edomites, and melanosomes that create melon throughout the body by the pineal gland. So now I'm explaining the 4 stages. Stage 1, the melanosome is empty and does not have the machinery to make melon. Stage 2, the melanosome has the machinery to make melon, but is empty of melon. And that's what you so-called white people have. You have stage 1 and 2. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. I'm going to reread it. It says the melanosome is empty and does not have the machinery to make melon. Stage 2, the melanosome has the machinery to make melon, but is empty of melon. Right, so I don't know much about cars, but I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. Think of it like a car. A car needs the engine and the wheels to move. So basically what he's saying with stage 1 and stage 2 is that think of the Edomites as the car. They have the engine to make melon, but they don't have the wheels. So therefore there's no melon. They have stage 2, they have the wheels, but they don't have the engine capable to make melon. So either way, you're screwed. You can't make melon. You either have the engine, but you don't have the wheels to go. You either have the wheels, but you don't have the engine. So either way, you're just screwed. Stage 3, the machinery is there. Now this is when it comes to Jake and, some of these other nations. The machinery is there and the melanosome is half filled with melon. Stage 4, the machinery is there and the melanosomes is completely filled with melon. And that's stage 4 is definitely talking about us Israelites. Stage 3 is also talking about those other nations. Right, he explains it here. White people have mainly stages 1 and 2, while all other people of color that have limited melon and a limited ability to tan fall into stage 3, so-called white Arabs, white Asians, white Indians, and Latinos. Now, he doesn't know that those people are also Israelites, but, with blacks, light-skinned, and dark-skinned having more of stage 4. Right, this is the reason why some light-skinned blacks can tan and get darker very easily with limited amounts of exposure to the sun. Right. And let me see what else is here. Salakia. Just give me one moment. Right. This is a subtitle right here. It says, why do we have melon? Any black person on the street preaching that Jesus Christ, but his real name is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, was black would be quickly corrected or ridiculed, right? Just like us on the streets today. So what is going on? These are the tricks of the devil to confuse and destroy the Most High's order of things. The devil is a liar and likes to deceive people into believing a lie. That's what he has done all these years. If the original man was white, then that would slack it. If the original man was a white man, what would the need be for melon, right? What would the need be for your pineal gland? Because your pineal gland is what gives the melon throughout your entire body. So if the original man from Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve were white, then how did the dark races come about? Why would the Most High make the pineal gland to produce melon if the original man or woman didn't need it or have it? Melon is not a genetic defect or mutation because the majority of people in the world have some shade of brown skin. Why would the Most High create the original man and woman, or the original man and woman, white, Adam and Eve, to populate the earth if they physically couldn't withstand the sun, which is the most important physical thing on the earth, key to survival of life? Also, if the Most High made the white man in his image in the beginning, then we should all be white because the white man cannot get darker. The white race is still the minority race from a world view, even though millions of brown and black people, including the natives of every country worldwide, were killed worldwide via famine, disease, abortion, forced sterilization, eugenics, slavery, homicide, and wars. Right. So this lie that these so-called elites have put up, that everything is white. You watch the movies about Samson, so-called Jesus, which is named in the Hebrew is Yahweh, God, everything is white when that's not so. Now, yes, don't get it confused. You will have Israelites that look like these other nations. But if you're going to sit there and say that everything is white, come on now. That's just impossible. And so with that, I'm going to end the video. I pray and hope that this video is edifying. Again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostle and elder of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth. Again, peace and blessings to your elect. Shalom.